Today we're talking Marvel's Wolverine. Did the game outshine that boring snooze fest of a state of play? Plus, Battlefield 6 shows off its gameplay. Is it a true return to form or just more chaos in the trenches? And we've got a full review roundup for Silent Hill F. Is it the fresh start the series needed or a nightmare for all the wrong reasons? Stick around for all that and more. Welcome, friends, to Good Playing With You, your weekly gaming news roundup. I'm Dan Whitehill, and as always, I'm joined by my tireless tag team of Matts, Matt Lord.
Hey, how's it going?
And Matthew Moulding.
Hey now, X-Men.
Before we hit the headlines, one quick note. We're 180 subs away from our goal, so if you could hit the like and subscribe button, it would mean a lot. Now, with that out of the way, let's jump straight into the headlines of the week. First up, gentlemen, there was a Sony State of Play this week, and, well, there's not a lot to play, but we did round up the 4 biggest trailers from the game. Let's take a look at them, let's talk about them, and then let's talk about that show as a whole. First up, let's talk about Saros. It's the new trailer showed off by Housemarque, and it gave us a much deeper look at gameplay with fast-paced bullet hell combat in a moody sci-fi environment, mysterious alien architecture, and a protagonist facing off against mechanical and monstrous threats. A new shield mechanic lets you absorb enemy projectiles and fling them back, and there's a quote-unquote second chance revive ability, plus permanent progression systems hinted to ease some of the roguelite difficulty. And this comes out March 20th of next year. What do you guys think?
Let's go. More Returnal. I've been expecting this one, and I'm super stoked. This game is 100% on the wish list. Probably the one of the games that a shining game of the show. And this one looks like there was a couple critiques. I thought the running animations looked a little bit maybe it's just because we were seeing an early build or something, but I thought the running could have looked a little smoother. I know they had it down pat in Returnal, so my expectations are just high for this one. I'm like, okay, got this almost like, I don't know, it's not exactly a sequel, so it's sort of like,
yeah, are they related or are they just similar kind of?
I think they're just similar. Like, I don't think this is in any way together. At least they didn't make any reference of that to my knowledge. So I think this is just a game that we just it's great because it looks so much like Returnal that it's just like, okay, maybe they're making games that have just like that exact same feel, but sort of just in the same, everything technically and elements are just kind of the same. But I do really like that revive mechanic. I think that is something that Returnal was missing, because that made the game so hard. When you are playing and you die going through those different biomes and you're just like, I have to restart now. It was so much fun, but man, it was tough to have to like go all the way back. So that's a nice feature that I think is good for newcomers as well.
For sure.
So I wanted to like it. I do. There, it looks a lot of fun. It looks up my alley, but there was something about the enemies that they were very amorphous. Like, I didn't know what he was shooting at the entire time. Like, I think they were robots, but I didn't get a sense of actually what they were. So I did have a little bit of problem with that, with the enemies and the look of the enemies. I loved the big boss that came out with all the hands and the stuff falling down from his hat, his flare. I loved that. Yeah, it looks good. I want to see more. I want to see more of it before I make a final determination.
Agreed. All right, up next was Halloween the Game. The trailer teased a horror experience set in Haddonfield where players can assume the role of Michael Myers with supernatural adjacent powers like shape jump, or play as civilians trying to save townsfolk. The tone leans into atmospheric tension, stalking, and a cat and mouse dynamic rather than pure action. It releases September 8th of next year. What did you guys think of this one?
Oh man, Friday the 13th part 2 is what this looks like to me.
And I'm so excited.
Oh no. I was really hoping it was going to be something different than what they showed off, but it looks better. It looks better than Friday the 13th, so that makes me happy. But man, that gameplay looks like it's going to be the same thing, and I hate it so much. but I loved the powers that it looked like Mike Myers had. I love they did that little thing where someone popped around the corner and he was just right there and stabbed them. Love that. That got me super excited. So maybe if I do pick it up, I'll just be a Mike Myers main. Maybe. I don't think I want to play as those kids.
Lord, what are your thoughts?
Yeah, like well, I'm trying to look here. The shift jump, that was like his little like where he turns into a little
It's
ghost.
so Jason. Yeah, it was so
yeah,
Jason.
that's pretty cool. But like, how many asymmetrical horror games can we have?
12.
Like
Not enough. Not enough.
Like I thought they said it was a single player experience.
I think
like,
there will be some in there. Yes.
Okay, because this to me, this
Or
looked
maybe
like
they were just talking about the single player experience being just playing as Mike Myers.
yeah.
Like maybe
No,
maybe there's some like language that
No,
something
Yeah.
no.
Because to me, I was hoping this was going to be primarily single player, and multiplayer will be there, but it'll be a different spin. So this, to me, unfortunately, now I'm like, wait, this is the same thing as a Friday the 13th, Texas Chainsaw Massacre. We already got these games. Yeah,
I know, but they quit supporting them. They're letting them die. They announced today that Texas Chainsaw that will get no further updates whatsoever.
Oh, really?
And eventually they will turn off those servers, and that game will be dead. Probably, I'm guessing September 8th or 9th of next year. Funny enough,
when they needed those servers for this game, and they're just like, well, let's repurpose them.
That's so funny.
Look, this company is shitty and they are lame, but damn if they don't make some fun games. They come out of the gate, you play them, the community goes toxic, and then the developers don't fix the bugs and they let them die, and it's a horrible situation, and I'm here for it every single time. I think this one looked really fun. I can't wait to get my hands on it. I think we learned a few things here that make it a little bit different for my fellow veterans here. First, of course, the most glaringly obvious, we got a release date, which is next year, September. So it's so perfect for Halloween. It's already getting Halloween. I have them for this year. I'm already getting Halloween vibes for next year. So super pumped for that. The other thing we learned, they said that he was an unstoppable killer. And so my thought there is, okay, you're not going to be able to kill him the way you could kill Jason in Friday the 13th. You can knock him down, you can stun him, you can slow him, but you can't kill him. And so that made it kind of interesting for me. And then the last thing was, they said the objective was to save the townsfolk and then escape. Because in all the other games, the objective has been just to escape. So here it looks like there's some sort of like secondary objective to get other people, out of town and warning them or something like that. So I can start to see the pieces of the gameplay coming together. Yeah, it looks the same as everything else, and boy, howdy, I'm still in.
Wow.
That's fine. That's fine.
Look, I don't want you to get it because I know Molding, I'm gonna love it, and you're gonna crap all over it.
You could just buy it for me. That would be the way to do it.
What's a realistic price point for this game? It can't be more than like, no, I mean, it could, I was gonna say $30, but you think it could be
$39.99? That's gonna be my guess.
$39.99.
No, it'll go 60 probably, I think.
Really?
Or maybe
what was the Texas Chainsaw? Do you remember?
Well, Texas Chainsaw was nice enough to launch in Game Pass, so
it did. That's right. That's how I played it. That's right.
Huh. I know. And then they do the same thing on Texas, where they put like the DLC clothing packs that you buy, whether it's different outfits. They do like a costume pack, an underwear pack.
What a waste of money.
I know, and I spend it every single time.
Yeah, you did. You're like, I gotta get this bikini or whatever she's wearing.
Of course. Yeah. Okay, let's move on to Battlefield 6, looking like a legitimate game versus my love of Halloween. Battlefield 6, it was really good looking. The trailer, they showed off the campaign. It shows like places around the globe, and it looked very cinematic with large-scale environments and lots of explosions, soldier squads, and a narrative structure inspired by war films like Generation Kill, Civil War, etc. The visuals emphasize chaos, vehicular combat, and the dramatic set pieces that all kind of explode. And this one's set for October 11th of 2025 this year. You guys getting a look at the campaign for this game, the multiplayer looked kind of interesting. What do you guys think about this?
It looks so pretty. it looks really like it just looks gorgeous. The set design, everything, the facial animation, everything just looked really, really pretty. And I did get to play in the beta. I got to play some of the online, the multiplayer, which is fun. I don't think this is a day one. I think I'm gonna wait for Game Pass or wait for it to go on sale a little bit. But man, it looks really good.
Yeah, this trailer was interesting to me because I did feel like we kind of like saw a bit of this like in the previous one, so I didn't feel like it was a total like it was just kind of like, yes, we got this single player campaign coming, good, great, we know that was happening. And then on top of that, did this remind you guys at all of like a Call of Duty trailer?
Oh, easily.
Yeah, yeah,
So
absolutely.
like they're tapping into that Call of Duty fandom a little bit more,
but they blow more things up. I think they know their strength is destructible environments,
They
and they're like,
definitely do.
"Here's this scenario, boom. Here's this scenario, boom."
Yeah.
I'm just like, "All right,
yeah.
cool."
And I'm
the
happy
crane fell. I'm just
good. And like helicopters flying into your face and stuff. There's a lot of really great moments that did come from that. I was like, okay, this is moving right along in the correct direction. And you know, I'm not buying these Battlefield games for the single player exactly. Like, I'm definitely anticipating the multiplayer to be the banger of all bangers. So it's still great. I'm really glad to see that like we got this game to look forward to in the shooter realm.
Yeah.
One thing that I was thinking while I was watching it is, now I know we bagged a lot on Metroid last week, and in general, I bag on Metroid a lot from what we've seen so far. But look at that game compared to this game. Like, look at how beautiful this game is. Granted, two different types of games, I fully admit, absolutely. But just the quality of design, of the look of that compared to this, and you're like, this is the same generation basically of consoles, and those are two equal games. It blows my mind that it just blows my mind, the difference between the two. That's all.
I think they're for two different types of audiences. I really
they are for sure. I completely agree. Yeah. But
Metroid is baby's first person shooter, and Battlefield is a lot more hardcore. It's like Call of Duty's, hey guys, come on, hang out with me, you know?
No, you're right. But still, I was like, oh gosh, can you imagine like a Metroid that looks like that? Not like wartime, not that, but like a Metroid that's like a heavy sci-fi, looks real, like that realism. Oh,
yeah, like I would eat that game.
Up. Yeah,
like what it could have been is what I'm trying to say, because right now, we're not getting there.
Agreed. But now somewhere we are getting is finally some Wolverine footage. It's been rumored forever. We've been hearing about it. And it finally showed up on this show, and it was great to see it. Insomniac's first full gameplay trailer leaned hard into the visceral, brutal combat. You saw claws tearing through enemies, blood, and gritty melee moves. The footage also revealed hints of narrative stakes, with Wolverine confronting secrets from his past, and appearances with familiar X-Men characters like Mystique and Omega Red, with more teased. The release window looks like fall of 2026 next year. What did you guys think about this one?
Blood. Lots of blood. I love that. I love me a bloody Wolverine. I want to see Wolverine like we saw in the movie Logan. I want to see him no holds barred, cutting off limbs, stabbing faces. I want to see all that stuff. And I'm so excited about it. Oh, it looked really good. It definitely looked like early days. I feel like the graphics needed to be improved upon, the visuals need to be improved on a bit. I think we've been trained of Mystique being gorgeous in her regular form. She did not look gorgeous in her regular form in that. Love Omega Red. I'm super excited to see him in the game. So it's a work in progress, obviously, and I can't wait to see what they come out with.
I gotta the first time ever, gotta disagree with you, Malden, because this one has already been leaked. This thing was leaked like 2 years ago, and remember all that footage that came of that? It was just like, oh, they're just making this like Wolverine game with like sonar and stuff, and it looks like they are making that exact game. And I don't know, I'm just not. I didn't feel too much for it. I feel like a lot of this stuff, they're just like, yeah, they're going for that ultra brutal combat, but like I don't think that's too far fetched to stab someone in the face with your humongous claws. Like I don't think that's crazy. So I'm just like, all right, I got it. I'm not like, again, not the biggest Marvel fan ever. So I think if I were to be just the biggest, like a huge Marvel fan, this would be right up my alley. So that's probably the key component I'm missing here. But it just didn't hit for me. I don't know.
Let him cook, Lord. Let him cook. Please.
I know.
Well, they only have a year left, so they better get to frying that thing, because I gotta agree, I'm not super excited about this one too. Look, I love Insomniac a lot. I think they can do almost no wrong in my eyes, but when I saw this, I was like, wait a minute, that is clearly the Spider-Man engine, and then they put a couple little things, made it a little more brutal. They've, changed some things here and there, but that looks like a Spider-Man game to me, which they did and so many versions of, and now it's like, oh, wait a minute, is this going to be more of the same? Because if it's going to have the same control scheme, I'm definitely out. And then they didn't give me enough tease of the story, so I'm not sure. They talked a little bit about it, but I really have no idea what's going to happen in it. I did love the gore, wasn't completely sold on the graphics, because I was like, wait a minute, if this is the Spider-Man engine, Spider-Man looked better than this.
Give him time. Let him have some time. That's all I ask.
Yeah, well, they better be cooking pretty hard. They're going to deep fry that sucker, because they have only a year left before we're expecting it.
I did like the actor. The main actor, I thought was actually,
he was cool.
Spartacus, or from Spartacus.
Do you know
I don't know if he was.
He's from Spartacus.
Liam McIntyre, was that his name? Liam,
because like I thought he was seemed really charismatic and really cool. Like I liked his introduction. I'm like, okay, he's selling me, and I felt like
I guess only Australians can play Wolverine.
Yeah,
I guess
that's a rule.
That's the only thing I thought.
Yeah, no, it was great. I think he could be the deciding factor.
Yeah.
And well, that's pretty much it for the show, to be honest with you. There are only 4 trailers worth talking about this time. Little light on content there, Sony. So given just a few trailers, gentlemen, what did you think of the show? What kind of letter grade would you give it?
Oh, I can take it. I mean, I think this was like D- material for me. I thought Sony is asleep at the wheel, just with Xbox going into a dumpster fire face first. They are just skating. I expect, honestly, I was like, in my head, I was like, they're going to announce a Bloodborne reboot. They're going to announce it, and they have to. See, and that's where I think my expectations are fluctuating so hard, is because I know they should be announcing these things, but they never do. And then my disappointment is like through the roof. It's crazy. So this one, D- for me.
You didn't like the speaker announce? That didn't do anything for you?
Actually, I kind of liked the speaker.
That was maybe a highlight for you.
I actually was like, wait, this thing actually is really probably awesome, and I do love a good speaker, so like that kind of spoke to me. I'm like, okay, they're kind of going there. And notice how they introduced it on the PC first. I thought that was an interesting thing. They're like, here, look how we can work on the PC. They're going full PC.
Agreed, but it was fully awkward. That was the middle of the show. They really didn't have a lot of games. They had to pad the show. We all knew it was a turkey coming in at 35 minutes. And then they're like, oh yes, check out our speakers. Oh yes, check out our new God of War controller. You don't need a new God of War game or anything, but here's a controller for you. Oh, by the way, PlayStation Plus is going to have these old games, and if I hear any more about The Last of Us, look, I love that game.
Oh my
Jesus, give it a rest already. They had to pad that show with just crap we didn't care about. So Molding, I didn't mean to.
And wait,
cut
one
you
more
off.
No, please continue.
Oh no, let me just add though, like all these games come out in 2026. Even the random remakes and remasters they talked about don't launch till like many months from now. I'm like, these games should be shadow dropped today. Like, why are we waiting another, like, Deus Ex, and what was the other like a Dynasty Warriors game? I'm like, we can't shadow drop these? Like, holy, it was nuts. Like, that was a nuts state of play. I thought it was out of pocket.
It showcased they really did put all of their eggs in that live service basket, and man, they didn't save anything for any other games.
No.
Because I think almost Microsoft had about the same amount of games with their flight simulator. I was like, oh, well, at least they got something to play here. The Microsoft coming in on the clutch for them,
Yeah.
and that's this year at least for them. But no,
So
Mulder,
what's your grade, Dan?
Yeah.
No, you can go and I'll give my grade after.
all right. Okay, then I'm gonna say D minus as well. I just there was nothing here to see. It should have been an email. It was boring AF, and even Wolverine couldn't save that show. So D minus.
Well, much like the podcast, we're giving it 3 big D's right here. These boys, 3 big D's. D for me as well.
Yes.
Man, no, it would have been an F if it weren't for that Wolverine. The
Agreed.
Wolverine. Yeah, I mean, great. There were more games than what we talked about. These are just the games pretty much that we're interested in and we think our listeners and viewers might be interested in. But yeah, it was doo-doo. It was big doo-doo in my opinion. But those trailers that we did discuss, you can check out our YouTube channel and check out those trailers there if you are so inclined.
Well, let's move on to some games that are actually out and good. Silent Hill F. We have been playing it all week. We have very differing opinions, but before we dive into those, Malding, why don't you tell us about a review roundup?
Yeah, so I'm back with another roundup for all of our good buddies. Silent Hill F officially drops today, and all 3 of us, as Dan said, have already got our hands on it. You can actually check out a special episode of Good Playing with You on YouTube or wherever you get your podcasts, where we speak with Konami representative Donnell Tucker about the game. But for the official reviews, as of yesterday, it has an 86 on Metacritic, and here is what some of the critics have to say. James Busby at Dexerto gave it a perfect 100, writing that the game is a bold new direction for Konami's iconic survival horror series. While it may put heavier emphasis on combat, NeoBards has expertly concocted a nightmarish cocktail, oozing with enough stomach-churning monsters, disgustingly beautiful environments, and psychological dread to be just as good, if not better, than Silent Hill 2. Haley Vincent from Destructoid was equally impressed, giving it a 95 and adding that psychological action horror is at its finest here, a new kind of Silent Hill that holds onto its roots and never falters. F stands out by giving us something vastly different while sticking to and modernizing the fundamentals. And finally, Marcus Stewart at Game Informer didn't necessarily agree, scoring the game a 75, but still high, saying Silent Hill F is a curious beast. Perhaps my biggest gripe, as someone who loves to be scared, is that you've seen the extent of how Silent Hill F plans to frighten you within its first half. Beyond that, its diminishing returns with very few surprises. I like Silent Hill F, but I was prepared to have a love affair with it, and I'm left feeling as foggy as its quiet, ill-fated village. So boys, what do you think? Since all 3 of us have had some time with the game, do you think these critics have hit the mark, or does Silent Hill F not get a passing grade?
I'm loving the game. I really do feel like this one does capture the atmosphere and tone of the previous games. Yes, it goes back in time. Yes, it's set in Japan, but there's something about the game that I think is really, really cool and really, really eerie. And I was a little concerned about what the combat was going to wind up looking like, but that surprised me in the best way. I think the combat is super addictive. I don't mind, jumping in there and fighting a couple more enemies, and I'm not like dreading it. It's really, really well done. Some of the stuff there, I feel like it's a fresh take on combat, really, especially melee wise. Yeah, all good stuff. I really like. Who knows? I think on it could be my PC, but there's a couple performance issues. There's a little bit of stuttering here and there, but that's really not even that bad. Like it's people I've seen like going crazy about it online, but it's pretty minimal, really, and I really don't feel like it's diminished like the type of game that it is. I think it's a very quality game that Konami output.
Agreed.
Dan?
I love it. I am a survival horror kind of fan, so this is the kind of thing that's right in my wheelhouse. I think, to be honest with you, because there were so many changes, I might have been hesitant to jump in, and I shouldn't be. I feel like this is the perfect antithesis to Borderlands. I love how colorful and crazy and gun focused and shooting dudes in the face Borderlands is, and I can't wait to play more. But then I like my quiet, creepy time with Silent Hill, and I love they do keep the core tenets of Silent Hill in there, even though they've changed so much of it. So it's a really fresh view of it.
Mhm.
It's scary. I'm loving the combat of it. I gotta agree with Lord. It's really really fun, and I think it's a perfect game for the spooky season. What do you
I
think,
gotta
Alden?
say, the puzzles are so far incredible. So I'm still pretty early in the game, but for one, they give you you're able to change the difficulty of puzzles, which is great. I love giving gamers choice. I'm playing, of course, I'm on the hardest difficulty because I want the biggest challenge, and it does not hold your hand at hard difficulty at all on these puzzles, and I am absolutely here for it. There are no hints. I had to figure it out myself, and I can't sing those praises enough. That's how I love my puzzles. I don't want anything where it's like if you fail a number of times it just gives you the answer. No, I don't want that. I want to be able to figure out myself, and that's what this game does, at least at hard difficulty on those puzzles. So I'm loving that, and I look forward to playing more.
I'm on hard as well, and some of those, man, they were pretty tricky. Like some of just the words, and they really just left you wondering. Like in my crazy brain, there was one that has all these little like trinkets all over that wall, and I was
Mm-hmm.
like, I need to organize these in a specific way, and I was like. That's going to drive me absolutely bonkers if I do that. And I knew, and that was one I had to look that one up because I was just like, I don't know. I feel like I'm going. That is the one thing sometimes with puzzles, I just go way overboard, like way too complex than what it really is. I just need to like take a step back, and I'm like, okay, it's actually a lot easier than I was giving it for.
That is so funny you say that because I'm the exact opposite way. I got to the part where there are the scarecrows in the field and they're given clues and you have to figure things out, and you have to walk up to the scarecrow and you have to pull like a pin or something out of it. And if you
Yep.
pick the wrong one, they'll try and kill you. But if you pick the right one, you get the next clue and you kind of move on. And by the last set of scarecrows, I was exhausted. I didn't know what to do. There were so many. So I just ran around pulling the pins out from all of the scarecrows, thinking like,
Just
one of
fighting
these
them,
is yeah.
going
And I
kamikaze on them.
yeah, I amassed this army of like 30 angry women or whatever. They were coming after me and they just slaughtered me and I totally died. But
That's so
so
funny.
I do enjoy the puzzles. I think it cuts both ways. I do want to say that even though I do love this game might not be for everybody. If you're not interested in horror games, if you don't like slow cerebral horror and you're not interested in the other Silent Hills, this one isn't going to change your mind. It is the exact same. I'm having a great time with it, but that is for me, and I understand how polarizing some of these games can be. So I just want to put that out there that we're not all saying like this is the greatest thing since sliced bread, you know?
Yeah.
No, good call out.
Yeah. Yeah, and another game that I'm loving, but isn't as good as sliced bread, is Borderlands 4. I'm loving that loot grind. I'm loving that chase. I'm loving the boss battles. I'm not loving the bugs, but at least I'm playing the game. Some people can't say the same. Malding, you have the story.
Yeah, Ethan Gatch, seemingly the last writer still surviving at Kotaku, says Borderlands 4 delayed indefinitely on Switch 2 just 10 days from release. Borderlands 4 was supposed to kick off the Nintendo Switch 2's first big fall season, but it's now been indefinitely delayed as Gearbox Entertainment works to deliver the, quote, best possible experience for fans on the new portable console. It's a surprisingly last minute move for a game that was supposed to ship in less than 2 weeks on October 3rd. The pivot comes after weeks of heated debate over the loot shooter's performance on other platforms. The studio wrote in an announcement on Tuesday evening, quote, "We need to share that the release of Borderlands 4 on Nintendo Switch is being delayed. We do not take this decision lightly, but are committed to ensuring we deliver the best possible experience to our fans, and the game needs additional development and polish time to do that." In the meantime, all digital pre-orders on the eShop have been canceled in accordance with the Nintendo policy and will be refunded starting tomorrow. The sudden delay comes after lots of complaints about Borderlands 4's performance on PC, as well as some concerns on other consoles, including an apparent memory leak that makes the game run worse if you play it continuously for long stretches of time without quitting out and relaunching. So, boys, what do you think? Is this just a minor hitch in the Borderlands 4 giddy up, or has the team at Gearbox effectively shot themselves in the foot with some toxic status effects?
Huh. Who's to blame here? You know, you think it's Gearbox, or do you
Switch
think
2. That's who
yeah.
I blame.
Yeah.
I
For their
agree.
shitty console.
Yeah, I think that's who needs to be. That's
I think
where the
it's a
finger's getting
combination
pointed
of
for
both.
me. Like,
Yeah.
I think the Switch 2 is jank. This is not the first time we've heard games are just running very poorly on it. I know Elden Ring is having a really tough time as well. That when they showed off the demo couple months ago. So I think this is the Switch 2 just not hitting the mark. I think we got to switch 1.5 for real with the Switch 2. And yeah, that's really a bummer, because really, what is there to look forward to on the Switch 2 now that Borderlands 4 is delayed? Oof. Yikes.
Come to Good Playing with you for all that Switch 2 hate. We got it for you in spades.
No, we don't hate it. It only has 2 games, unfortunately, but we don't hate it. Look, I'm going to defend the Switch 2 a little bit here. And not just because I'm the Switch 2 owner of the team, but because, look, I think it was Digital Foundry took a look at the engine of Borderlands 4 and said, hey, this has a long way to go. This is not optimized as much as you guys are saying it is. And this shouldn't be a surprise to you. And that kicked off a lot of debate with Randy Pitchford responding rudely on Twitter, like, he loves to do. But I do think these issues that they are having on other consoles are significant. Like, Malding, you said, there's a memory leak that causes textures not to appear. I'm like, that's bullshit. I'm like, I know that they need to say it in the article. There is a memory leak that crashes my console about 1 to 2 or every 1 to 2 hours, so
didn't you have a huge glitch that almost ruined your entire game this week?
It is a permanent glitch on PC, and luckily on console it was, but I got the bug where all of your skills progress is wiped and is gone. You lose all your skill points. And I turned on my game and I started playing, and I get to this boss that's pretty easy, like in Splash Zone, trying to farm like an idiot. And then I can't pull any of my ultimates, and he totally kills me. And I'm like, I felt emasculated. I was like, wait a minute. And then I looked down. And I looked down and I was like, oh, none of my skill points are applied. My ultimate is missing. This is gone. And I had to restart my game, clear the cache, reapply all my points. Like, it was a whole thing. But I know on PC that bug is permanent. So I felt very lucky that I was able to get my game to run again.
Wow.
Yeah,
close call.
That is bad.
Believe me, I was texting, Malding, like sweating, like, oh my God, what am I going to do? Oh my God, 40 hours. I'm 40 hours plus into this game. I think I lost everything, but luckily I was able to get it back.
Seriously, a modern release, we shouldn't have these problems. That is really just unforgivable to that kind of stuff.
That's crazy.
I agree.
I mean, I understand that these things happen, but you just shouldn't. You should put out a game that doesn't have stuff like that.
I agree. How bad is the engine that it can't be ported to Switch to a brand new console? And I get that it's weaker, but dang, there's something really wrong here, especially if it's an indefinite hold or cancellation.
Yeah. That to me is one thing that, like, I can't believe they didn't delay it. Like, do you think it will ever release, or is this thing just going to be like?
I think it will. I think
there's
it'll
too much
just
money to be made.
There's too. Yeah, agreed. It will. It's just going to be a while.
Jeez, that's nuts.
That is nuts. Not a good look. But speaking of spooky and things that are a good look, let's talk about Kojima's new trailer for OD, this experiment he was working on with Microsoft. We finally got to see the beginning fruits of their labors. Lord, you had this story for us.
Yeah, so Kojima's OD gives us PT vibes in new preview. This is from GameSpot's Blair Marnell. The new video redacts some of the backstory text that sets up the game, which makes it difficult to understand what's supposed to be happening. Stephen King's It star Sophia Lillis plays the game's leading character, but most of the action takes place from a first-person perspective. Near the beginning of the clip, Lillis's character receives a card through the door with enigmatic instructions. Lillis's character goes on to light a few candles, and that's where the creep factor rapidly expands. By the time someone or something enters the room behind Lillis's character, she's too frightened to run before it lays hands upon her. OD doesn't currently have a release date, but is to be published by Xbox Game Studios. Well, that doesn't necessarily rule out a PS5 release. That is yet to be confirmed. So, what is the hype level for this game? I thought this was an extremely effective preview. I was impressed. Like, I loved the first person perspective, the weird lighting of the candles, and it had that redacted text. There was just some stuff I haven't quite seen in a trailer like this one, and I thought it looked pretty scary. What did you guys think?
What magic does Kojima cook to get that facial, that animate? Like,
Well, okay,
it is.
What did we see? Was this actually a video game, or was this just footage? I think this was just footage.
Yes, I think this.
Yeah.
No, I think this was maybe not gameplay, but I think this was in-game footage.
Mhm.
This was, I mean, it looked like it was
Real.
directly from a movie, but I think it was from the game. I assume so. But
just
anyway,
curious, like,
so that is gorgeous.
Yeah.
And what I really want to know what Kojima has with the babies. Like, he loves babies. There were some baby candles that she lit and then melted. There was, I think, probably some baby crying. There was that spooky eye up there. Like, it looked crazy, and I'm kind of here for it.
I agree. I'm here for the crazy. I'm just not sure what we saw, because it kind of looked like gameplay, especially the looping stuff where she's lighting the candles. But then some of the shots of the doorway and the credit card and all that sort of stuff, I was like, well, this just looks like they're filming something. Is this going to be like a game that's like a full motion video game? Because I couldn't tell. But then it could be like you said, maybe it is really great looking graphics, but will our consoles be able to hold? By the time it comes to our consoles, is it going to be so downgraded that it looks like Wolverine? Like, I don't know what to expect.
It looks like Metroid.
Yeah.
Well, I gotta say, like, man,
That's rough.
Death Stranding 2 graphics are super good. Like,
Yeah,
if you have,
that's why I'm thinking it's.
they're
That's why I'm
really,
thinking it's
really
real.
good. Me too. Because if we're going from Death Stranding 2 to this is just like the next level that I couldn't see being achieved.
Quick question for you guys. I have PT. That's what it was called, right? The demo.
Yeah.
I have it on one of my old consoles, and I know you can't get it anywhere. Do you think I could sell my console? Does anyone want to buy my old console with PT on it so you can play it? Let me know.
You could probably. It's probably at a premium right now with OD coming out. People are talking about PT. I'm telling you, you could make some money.
Yeah, I mean, let's just be real though. I didn't get like PT vibes from this one. Like, I know they made that comparison in the article, but I didn't get PT vibes. Like, this is very much its own game. This, to me, and the way it was set up with her face kind of like changing color and stuff, I feel like there might be some sort of gameplay mechanic where it is like, depending on how much her face changes, like the bigger the jump scare, or like how much, something. It just seems like it probably is not. I don't think it'll be the traditional type of game. It said like End for Screamers, so I think it's going to be almost like a Five Nights at Freddy's type of thing. You know how you're kind of like sitting in a console and then things will just like pop up in your face. Like, that is the type of game
that I wouldn't like that.
Yeah, I wouldn't either. I'm not a Five Nights at Freddy's kind of guy, but I could see that being that way.
Oh, that would be awful.
Yeah, that would be awful.
Well, I think at the end of the day, like, yes, it looked great. Yes, it was definitely spooky as hell. But no, I have no idea what I just saw. So until we get more information, I mean, like, I'm definitely curious to see more. But and it looks.
That's Kojima, isn't it? You never really have any idea what you're looking at. So
never.
Good point. All right, next up, let's talk about this crazy Xbox price changes. This one was a wild one. They tried to slip it under the radar last week, but we need to talk about this because prices are going up again for the Xbox console. I don't know any other generation where the price has gone up like this. So I pulled this from an article by Rebecca Valentine on IGN. This is basically a summary of what she wrote, but it says Xbox console prices are going up again in the US. Xbox has announced another round of price hikes effective October 3rd. The increases range from $20 on the Series S models to $50 on the Series X models and $70 on the 2 terabyte Galaxy Black Special Edition. That means the Series S will now retail for $399, which it was originally $299 back in the day at launch. The Series 1S 1 terabyte will be $449, the Series X digital at $599, and the standard Series X at $649. And the original Series X was $500 at launch. So that's a $150 price increase of the console that I own. That's just completely insane. And then the Galaxy Black 2 terabyte edition at $800. I don't know. Accessories like controllers and headsets will stay the same, and no other regions are affected. Xbox says the price hikes are due to, quote, changes in the macroeconomic environment. What do you guys think about this macroeconomic price hike?
Well, let me tell you something right now. The Xbox Series S is not worth $400. Like, what the heck are they thinking? Like, that console is $299 tops. So hearing that price increase is making my jaw hit the floor, because that is crazy that they're trying to increase the prices this much. Like, what is forcing their hand? I mean, I don't know.
Tariffs. It's tariffs. That's my thing. Or they're using tariffs as an excuse to juice up their profits. But there has to be a line where that becomes diminishing returns. Like, you can't hike up your prices so much that people aren't going to buy them. And people aren't buying them at the normal price. So what are they doing hiking their prices up?
I don't know. It's completely bizarre, because by this point in the generation, they should be going down in price. Manufacturing should be cheaper, at least staying even, because they've got the components here mass produced that they can drop the price. And we're just not seeing that. It is really strange. I agree, Molding. It's got to be diminishing returns, because you can hike the price all you want, but if people aren't going to buy it, then you're just not going to sell it. I think it's completely unfortunate for gamers, and it's unfortunate for Xbox, because they're not going to move consoles with prices like this.
Stupid me. Xbox is the only thing I own that is increased in value. like that, I should have invested in instead of the stock market, I should have just bought more consoles.
Right?
Man, now you're talking. But I did see Costco is like, getting scrubbing. Yeah, they got rid of the console, so they must know that I don't know, like, what is the future of Xbox? I feel like maybe this is just their sadly, is this just the last play before they go away? Are they just trying desperately to sell these consoles at a super inflated price and then shutter up? Like, I just don't understand what's going on here. Like, it makes me like at a loss.
Yeah, definitely a wild situation, and we'll keep an eye on it. Well, that pretty much wraps up everything we have for this week. If you're watching on YouTube, please like and subscribe. If you're listening on a podcast, please tell 180 friends. And on behalf of Matthew Molding, Matt Lord, and myself, Dan Whitehill, thanks for joining us. And as always, good playing with you.
Good playing with you.
Good playing with you.